Very well said. I want to keep you about 10 minutes over into the next segment to take some of these calls. You game to do that, Wayne Madsen?
Sure, absolutely.
Let's jam in one now, folks. And I know you called him before he came on, but he can speak on any subject. Billy in California wants to talk about what I said I'd ask Wayne. We'll ask that now. Exiting the USA. Is there anywhere to run?
Well, we only have to look at Ed Snowden to figure that one out. Where can he go right now? And people have asked me what's safe for him. You know, he could probably get asylum in Brazil, Bolivia, Ecuador, one of these countries in Latin America. But Latin America is in the U.S. sphere of influence. It's the playground for the CIA. And although we have very bad relations with Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, and Brazil right now because of our involvement, interference in their affairs, well, you know, we got all kinds of ne'er-do-wells that, you know, wander around those countries. I don't think it'd be all that safe there. Europe, of course, that's all EU and NATO. They would just turn him over in a minute from any country, from Finland all the way down to Portugal would be more than happy to turn him in for a few extra, you know, euros or dollars from old Uncle Sam. So China, even China, I would not. China will not do anything that will adversely affect their ability to make money. And if they feel Snowden's doing that, they may, in fact, be more than willing.
That's right. I mean, you got to say it. As bad as the Russians have been at many levels, everybody says it. Putin looks so much more honorable with his pro-family stance, his anti-radical Islam stance that's real, not fake. Everything he's done, saying he's a Christian, everything flies in the face. And, you know, it would have been better for them to just turn Snowden over. What do you think's going on in Russia?
Well, you know, Putin's standing his ground. I mean, he did not want to see Ukraine join the EU and hence they go into NATO. Whatever happened to Madeleine Albright, who said NATO would never extend into Eastern Europe? This is what she said early on. This is what Warren Christopher said. This is what Bill Clinton said. And no sooner had they said it, they were already bringing in Poland. And now it's the Baltics. And now they want to bring in Ukraine and Georgia.
And the Russians watched them bomb Serbia and hand a third of that over to al-Qaeda. I mean, the Russians see what's happening. Renowned author and expert Joel Skousen breaks down the globalist plan to shut down America and stage a new world war.
In one day, America will go from day to night. And if you haven't prepared in advance, there's not enough time to prepare in 24 hours, even if you saw it that early.
Coming to the InfoWar in November is our new documentary film presentation.
Strategic relocation is a systematic way to think strategically in the future about how do I safeguard.
Joel Skousen, Strategic Relocation.
The freeways are going to be crowded, they're going to run out of gasoline, they're going to run out of food, and then they're going to start to go north and south of those freeways.
Joel Skousen is renowned as one of the world's foremost experts in strategic relocation and the securing of your home.
We talk about natural disasters, the health environment, we talk about pollution, the water quality. My personal experience about being in every one of these states.
Government is digging in for the organized, incremental collapse of society and world war.
The U.S. isn't building huge underground bases and bunkers because of some terrorist threat. They know that a massive nuclear attack is coming. They want that attack to come. Most people won't even be ready and won't be able to get out of town when any of these nuclear weapons fall, because there'll be absolute panic.
There is no preparedness without strategy.
What I tell people is that you do have time. Prepare wisely in advance.
This Christmas, give the gift of preparedness. Strategic Relocation, the film, with Joel Skousen and Alex Jones. And they're gearing up for economic collapse through which they'll bring in their new global cashless society. They're trying to phase out cash everywhere to kill the barter economy. They're trying to create federal squads, $15 million fines for garage sales. I'm not joking. That's Fox News reporting that. You know, if they find any recalled item going back 20 years, well, I mean, there's tens of thousands of things that have been recalled. Just all sorts of ways to scare everyone because they're predatory. So the answer to their Agenda 21 is to only buy local when you can, and to support local businesses, and to buy organic, and to support alternative media. It's real simple. We have to absolutely put the establishment under siege because they're trying to put us under siege. Doesn't it come down to that, Wayne?
Oh, absolutely it does. And I think, like I say, I'm encouraged at what I see in here in the Pacific Northwest. I just hope that this is going on all over the country, that people are supporting local businesses, local organic farmers, you know, and I can't agree more. Buy local, stay away, and even state banks and local banks, you know, leave the Bank of America's.
The local banks are under attack. The Banking Reform Act was written to shut them down. We've got to go be with local banks.
Absolutely.
Well said. I mean, this is a takeover, folks. These people don't want commerce. They want controlled commerce. Billy, your point on exiting the USA. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'll be quick. My class just started. I got a point and a question. So Matt putting that out on the exit strategy, it kind of, to me, it shows that he knows the trajectory of the civilization. And he already has his own exit strategy, but it's kind of a warning for the rest of us. But to me, there's almost nowhere you can run. I mean, if you completely exodus, leave America, get out of here, go to Chile, go to Switzerland, wherever, that means that you've kind of given up and they're just going to take full control of America and the rest of the globalist countries that they control. So that's just a point real quick. But a question for you and Wayne, do you think that we have enough patriots to basically align everybody and take it back over? Because I think we do. But I think the globalists are just really good at consolidating their power, aligning themselves, and actually turning that into a weapon. Do we have that? I think we do. But what does it look like? Question for you and Wayne real quick.
I mean, I think so often you have to just double down, even if it looks like things are pretty dark, and then it's that standing and resisting that ends up giving you the moral high ground. I mean, as bad as Russia is on so many fronts, our elite are so evil. Russia worldwide looks like the good guys, even in the words of people like Pat Buchanan. And it's not that Putin's even that great. It's that compared to these people, he's a saint. And so we have to be that example. And I mean, sure, if they're trying to send a hit squad to kill you, and Wayne was warned by three different high-level people, he left for a year. And then when the threat was over, he came back. So you got to know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, know when to run. Wayne Madsen, your answer to that. I mean, what do we do? I mean, can we beat them?
Stay here and fight. Look, I'm encouraged by what I've seen. I can use maybe this opportunity to get in a shameless plug, but there's a director out here in the Northwest, Eric Stacy out of Portland, has just completed a film. We're coming up in a few days on the 1-year anniversary of the horrible death of Phil Marshall, who wrote about 9/11, the pilot. United Airlines 767, 757 pilot, wrote 2 books on 9/11, was working on yet another, was involved in Iran-Contra with Barry Seal. In just a few days, the 1-year anniversary of his horrible death with those of his 2 children in Murphy's, California. There's a docu-novel coming out called Unthinkable, done by Eric Stacy, who's got 8 films under his belt. And again, here's a guy who has a long history in Hollywood. His dad was the assistant director to David O. Selznick on some movies people may have heard of, Gone with the Wind and A Star is Born. He's completed this docu-novel, or docudrama, I should say. You and I are in it because they've got one of our interviews in the movie. It opens just a few blocks off Broadway on April the 11th at the Quad Cinema in Manhattan. So anyone in that area, I would really urge them to see this. This shows that in a docu-novel kind of way, docudrama kind of way, that Marshall was taken out by a hit team because of what he was working on.
Sure, and again, it doesn't mean this one film will save the world, or one book will save the world, but all of us that have the means, in one level of the media or not, to communicate, they want to shut our speech down because it's effective. So when they kill somebody or arrest Dinesh D'Souza, look, if a Republican had had somebody like Michael Moore arrested, even if it looked like he might have been guilty, but it was political, I would stand with Michael Moore, even though I detest him. Because, folks, if you don't stand for free speech for everybody, everyone loses it. It's elementary. Thank you very much, caller. Great points. William in New York, you're on the air with Wayne Madsen. Go ahead.
Yes, how are you? Alex Jones, Mr. Madsen. How are you?
Good, good. Go ahead.
Jones, I just wanted to make a quick point, like a point of question, like Billy, if you don't mind. Alex, I'm a loyal supporter. I respect you, but I'm getting really irritated every time I hear of you speaking of leaving this country. I mean, talk of leaving this country, you know, in such a cynical fashion as our country balkanizes. You know, ardent patriots will stay. And like Mr. Madsen said, stay and fight. I just quoted you before, Alex, saying, what's the point of fighting if you don't fight all the way?
Well, listen, I want to be clear. I've just had the larger discussion because I'm actually at the level of people they're going to purge. They intend to. And so I'm having a discussion with people so they can realize how serious this is. And I said at the end of the discussion an hour ago, or more than an hour ago, that I intend to fight on to the end, whatever the cost may be, and basically paraphrased the Churchill speech. But at the same time, then I think, is that the wrong strategy? It wouldn't be giving up on America. It'd be like if I was French and the Nazis took over and I ran to England for 3 years and then came back with the resistance. It wouldn't mean, you know, run away, live to fight another day. I'm saying my gut tells me you're staying. My cerebral cortex tells me, you know, run with the rebels, you know, and regroup to take on the Death Star later. So that's what I'm saying, sir. And so that's the larger discussion. But I hear what you're saying.
Not all people have enough money to flee, and those are the people that are going to be the true patriots shedding blood for this country, and that's what it's all about.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was saying that the true patriots are going to be the ones that don't have money to leave this country, and those are the true patriots that are going to shed blood for this country. That's what it's all about.
Well, listen, I've been here, and I wear a lot of hats, and I go out in public without bodyguards and the whole 9 yards, so I'm not afraid of killing people or being killed. I just see all the angles. They want to have a civil war if they can pull it off and blame us properly. So I'm on the air trying to stop a civil war from starting while explaining if one begins that they're the ones that are behind it and they're illegitimate. So you got to know in war, it's always been mainly information or what they call propaganda. So I'm in a truthful war against the propagandist to point out who they really are. We're the most important component in this fight. If they start trying to purge everybody, it's on. My big thing is the average military and cops are just compartmentalized fools. It's not going to hurt the New World Order to kill them, even though people are going to be forced to. I just hope everybody knows who's behind it, because that's who's going to be in Europe sitting out of the fight while we kill each other like a bunch of morons. I hear you, and I appreciate your call. Wayne Madsen, in closing, what do you say to that and the attempts to demonize the proto-Tea Party, the Liberty Movement, the Pentagon training for it, the governor of New York saying if you're a gun owner, you know, basically a Christian, get out of my state? I mean, they do want to come after the real Tea Party. They do want to have a civil war. They say their main enemy is the returning veterans. Why do they see the libertarians as the only enemy?
Because it's divide and conquer. They want to, it's us versus them, and them are the people of this country. I've been involved out here in Seattle and helping to feed homeless people. You talk about a group that's organized. These people survive on the street. And you know their biggest threat? Well, they always have a threat from the cold weather, the rain, but the biggest threat is from Department of Homeland Security thugs that come around and rouse them out of where they're sleeping, trying to get a few hours.
Yeah, I saw that in the news. They now have federal police in almost every major city, and all they have to do is be mean to homeless people.
The Department of Homeless Security, I guess, is what it is now. Why do people put up with this kind of thing? The people who are the most defenseless being harassed by these thugs who actually look at these people who they could easily be those people themselves. These people got injured on the job in some cases, couldn't get workman's comp. They exhausted their unemployment. They had no other choice.
And a lot of times they're somewhat whacked out. If I spent a week on the streets, I'd be whacked out.
Yeah. Most of them I encountered were not, they were not drunk. That maybe 15% you could say were on drugs or drinking, but most of them are.
No, most of them I found are guys that their wife divorced them. They went bankrupt because of child support, and now they've got bad credit and can't get an apartment, and they're just totally freaked out and broken. I talk to homeless people all the time, and most of them now are broken men.
But these are the people who
and veterans
know how to survive, and I'll tell you, I would want those homeless people on my side if it ever comes to where we have to challenge these authoritarian powers. They've been out there; they know how to survive. They know what they're doing.
Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.